Hello, everyone, and welcome to Someone Should Have Told Me. Oh my goodness, you guys, things are getting thick out here. It's like we need to live right now. We need to live how we want and do what we need. So, I was listening to Pastor Mike Jr. Look him up on the internet. My goodness, his music is phenomenal. And it's real phenomenal for the younger generation because it's not that old-timey gospel music. He is putting things in perspective for us all. And I guess he's been through a lot. I'm going to have to really look up his life because the way he sings, oh my goodness, he knows the power of the supreme being. So there was this one song, it's called Proof. Oh my goodness, that's my favorite. It is, if you want to see proof of a miracle, he say, here he is. But guess what? Here I am. Here you are. You guys have been through some things and you didn't know how you got through it. That's a miracle. My goodness. One song that he sings that I really want to make this podcast about is called The Assignment by Pastor Mike Jr. You know, you really need to understand the assignment. Assignment is to live the best life that you can live. You don't want to hurt nobody. You don't want nobody to hurt you. But we all know that things happen and you may have made a mistake and hurt someone, or you may have hurt someone on your journey because you figured out that wasn't the way you wanted to go. You needed to stop that road before it went any further. So you needed to change and go a different road. And it's okay. We all need to understand the assignment because we need to help as many people as we can along the way. That is what we are put on this earth for, to live our best life, help as many people as we can along the way, and to get as much out of this life as we can. And sometimes you have to plant some seeds, and later on you'll see the growth of those seeds. And so Pastor Mike Jr., and he's a young guy, and he says he understood the assignment. But at first he didn't. God said, go. And he was a little slow. But then he planted some seeds. And God let them grow through the dirt that the enemy, or so-called devil, has threw down. It grew even though there is always obstacles trying to come your way. But if you weather through the storm, the sun comes out. And don't hesitate to enjoy the sun. Don't hesitate when you get through the storm. Don't hesitate to enjoy. And while you're in the storm, don't hesitate to keep pushing through. Because when you push through, then you're going to get through the end even much faster. There was a song when I was a little girl, and they used to sing it in church. I'm gonna run on, see what the end's gonna be. I'm gonna run on, see what the end's gonna be. And then they would say, there's something at the end that's going to be for me. So, yeah, I like to do the impressions of people, but yeah. So that's how they used to sing it in church. I'm gonna run on. It does not take away from that is what they were talking about. You know, when things happen to you, you got to keep on going. Let's see what this end's going to be, because nothing stays bad always. You know, there's going to be a break in the storm. There's going to be winds that come and blow the storm away. But you gotta be able to hold on until you get through. Just hold on. The wind is bouncing you all over the place. It's like if you're in a tsunami, if you were able to hold on to something while that water went through, when it got through, you had a chance. You had a chance to get up and get yourself together. And then use that second chance to be better than you were the first time. Learn those lessons. When those storms come, learn them. Get through them. Be better. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be better. You're going to be wiser. And if you don't get it all, remember, life is just a big classroom. You don't want to have to keep learning these lessons over and over and over again, because they leave scars sometimes. Sometimes the scars show later, but you've been through and you went through. I don't like scars. I don't want too many scars. So I'm trying to get through and keep my skin beautiful, keep my heart, keep my spirit. I don't want to live in the unhappy space for too long. It's not a place for me. And even if the storm comes and wipe out everything, it's okay. Because then you get new things. And guess what? The sooner you replant, the sooner you will recap all the benefits of your new garden, and it will flourish and be even better or just as good as the first one. It is up to you to assess the situation, confirm your losses, and regroup as soon as you can, because time will keep moving on and you will need to keep moving on also. Don't stand in that misery for too long. I was watching Star Trek, and they were fighting this terrible, terrible enemy. They were just devouring planets. But then, when they figured out a way to beat this enemy, they demolished this enemy. And this enemy had went on a long time of just devouring planets. Well, when they figured out how to beat the enemy and they killed the enemy right before the enemy blew up, they realized that this enemy was humans that had left the planet Earth many, 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 many centuries ago, and they got lost out in space. This ship that they were using to devour planets looked nothing like anything that Earth had ever seen before. But them being out there in the element of space, and they had seen so many things and did so many things and been so many things. Well, it was 7 of them that left the Earth on that mission the many, many centuries ago. And between the 7 of them, they had raised the whole world. This was their family. Generations and generations of their family that was now just devouring planets. And right before the Star Trek people killed them and they figured that out, that they were the humans that had left. They were the best of the best back those many centuries ago. And so the question was, how did they become like this? And could we become like this if we had been one of those 7 who had been left out in the universe for so long? This could be us. So the moral of this story was, your enemy is not that much different from you. It's because of the things that they have encountered, the things that they have been through, that have made them who they are and created them to be the enemy to you. But they started out just like you. And just like in this episode, they were the best of the best. So if the best of the best can turn into this cruel killing machine, then it's all about what you go through. It's all about how you handle the situations that you go through. There's another song by Ed Sheeran, and it's You Can't Take My Youth Away. The soul of mine will never fray. As long as I wake up today, you can't take my youth away. Then he goes to say pain, but I won't let it change me. Pain, no, I won't let it turn into hate. No, I won't let it change me. You can't take my youth away. Soul of mine will never stray. As long as I wake up today, you can't take my youth away. Pain, but I won't let it turn into hate. No, I won't let it change me. And that is all that it is trying to do. It's trying to turn you from good so that you're angry, and so that you are not for the good, you're for the bad. So many people say, so-and-so didn't do this for me, I ain't doing it for them. But it's like, we are not supposed to be them. We are supposed to show them how to be. And we do not let this negativity change us into negative people. That is what they're trying to do. Don't let it happen. Don't let it change you from who you are. But I'm not telling you to be a whipping board. No, you protect yourself. And you don't let it change you, but you do it without expecting anything from anybody. You just do it because you want to, and because you know that your rewards is not going to come from those people that you're doing it for. You're just trying to help them. Your reward's going to come from somewhere else, somebody else, some avenue that you don't even understand or know where they're coming from. But you don't let it change who you are, because then you're going to change your rewards and your blessings. Right now, we are dealing with wars and things in this world that we live in. We're dealing with wars over things like minerals and territory. This earth was given to all of us. To all of us, this greed of trying to take over everything. You know, when the Star Trek people found out that these people were so close and that pretty much could be them, it devastated them. This earth was given to all of us to flourish in. Fear is always present, but so is courage. And you must push for that courage. Let the courage take the lead. Sometimes you get tired, but push through it. Courage, as I said before, fear is always there when courage has to push through. Just make the courage be in control, because with determination, you can push that courage through, and then you will have strength. The strength will get you to the good place, because when you are in a bad place, you must not sit there, or it will take longer for you to get to a better place. And just because you are on the way, don't mean that there won't be obstacles in the road. While you're on your way, with your courage, with your strength, you are there. It's like you're still in the fight. So you got to push through. And whatever cards are dealt to you, you're going to just deal with them as they come. You have to figure your way around these obstacles. You have to figure your way, whether you're going to just push through, go over, go up, go down, whatever. Understand it's just an obstacle and not a dead end. I guess I should see it as, if you see a video game, like if you're playing a video game, you know, this is what you're doing in the video game, right? You must get to the next stage. And to complete each stage, you got to go through some obstacles and things like that. Same thing in life. You must get through. You can't just stop. Something's going on, you just stopping and quit the game. It's not an option. It's just not an option. And if you can't get through it, guess what? Got to figure it out. So the game cuts down and you have to start all over. You're going to get through it. Until you figure it out, you cannot go to the next stage. And that is what is going on in life. Sometimes you have to regroup, think about it, settle yourself, and then come back full force and try to get it done. But you never give up. You just never give up. And I was talking to one of my sisters. We were talking about this subject. She said, and then people, they go and commit suicide. They don't know what's on the other side of that suicide. Who's to say that it's better once they get through the other side? Because in the video games, once you get to the next level, there's a whole bunch of new obstacles that you got to go through to get to the level after that. But it's always a good accomplishment and a good feeling when you do get to that next level. But if you cheated to get there, then who knows? All the lessons that you missed that you would have went through to get to the next level. So it probably is going to make that next level even harder. Oh no, if you couldn't make it through this level and you had to cheat in the next level all harder, oh my goodness, poor you. That's what I got to say. The things that I have learned, that we are making life way harder than it has to be, because God loves us so much. He just wants to give us what we desire, what we need. He can't even get you to say that you believe that He exists. He can't even get you to say that you understand your assignment is to just live, help others, and live the best life you can live. So me and my husband went to a park and we were sitting there. We ran into this man because my husband was coughing in the car. And the man, he kind of like leaned up, and my husband is like, I know what this looked like, but I don't smoke. And they laughed. The man just started talking to us, which this happens to me a lot, guys, because of the way that we carry ourselves. We are happy, laughing, joking, like we best friends, even though we just had our 39th wedding anniversary. God, and thank you, because Lord knows anybody that's been married for this long got stories to tell and have been through some things together. But that's not what I'm talking about now. So the guy says, "Oh my God, so I'm going to tell you that I have never smoked in my whole entire life. And I've never taken a drink in my whole entire life." We like, "Oh, really?" And he was like, "Yeah, let me tell you. So the reason I've never drank anything is because I had 12 brothers and they used to come home and they would be messed up. And I was young, like about 9 years old. And I was like, oh my, if that's what liquor do to you, I don't want no parts of it." So he said he never had a drink of anything. Then he said, and I've never smoked anything because in my younger years, somebody gave my friend a joint laced with something and he never came back to himself. He said, "Now I got kids and they are, younger adults and they drink and they smoke, and I told them, you know, never smoke anything from anybody else and never put your drink down." But I am talking about this man because then this man started talking, giving us scriptures out the Bible, and then he said, "I died in 2021." My husband and I like, "What? You died?" He was like, "Yes, I died in 2021 and God came and talked to me. I told him I wanted to stay dead. And he said, no, because you didn't went and had this child and this child is now 8 years old and he needs you. You don't need to be here with me. You need to be there with them and help him and help raise this son that you didn't have." And he said, okay. Because he said that when he had this child, and it was after he had gotten a divorce, I guess, from his wife, and he said the woman would not let him even see the child until it was 3 years old. And he said he was praying, "Please let me see my child, my child." He said that God told him to make a room for the child and don't worry about it. And then he said at the age the child got to 3 years old, the woman just called out of the blue and said, "You know what, you can come get him and he can come visit." And now he has a relationship with his child. I'm saying that to say that things happen. It might not happen when you want it to happen, but it happens at the right time. At the right time. Really, you know, yeah, it would have been nice if he could have seen his son earlier before 3, but it wasn't meant to be. And 3 years old is when the mind is, still like a sponge. They say your child's mind is like a sponge until it's 5 or 6, and that you should be feeding everything you can into that child that you possibly can, because that sponge is just soaking it all in. He said he came back, he's been well, and he's helping taking care of his son and doing what was meant for him to do. He said that if he had just listened and done what he should have been doing all along, he would be much better off. That's another thing. We need to listen when God is trying to talk. Now, I'm going to tell you, the listening meaning in your self-conscious, the things that's going on and they telling you to do. And you all know, you didn't, I'm sure, had these conversations within yourself before. And then there's a few of us that has actually heard the voice. I'm going to tell you of 2 incidents. One incident, it was me. And I was 5 years old. And I had just kept praying, "God, please let me My mom was pregnant. I wanted to name my little brother, and I kept saying, God, please let me name the baby. Let me name the baby. Let me name the baby. So I was in the room playing, and the voice came, and it just said Timothy. I was 5 years old. I have no reason to lie to you people. I ran in there and I told my mom, I know what we're going to name the baby. I know what we're going to name the baby. And she said, what? I said, Timothy. That is his name. That's his name to this day. You are scared to tell people, but I'm telling all of you because I don't care. I'm trying to tell you to help you. I'm trying to tell you so that you know that it can happen. It does exist. And recently, I was talking to my cousin, and she said that she was so mad at her mother. And this was years ago as well, like in her 20s. And she said that her mama had made her so mad that she made up in her mind that she was about to fight her mother. And she said that voice said, that is your mother. And she said she looked around like, who said that? Because it was a couple of other people in the room, but it wasn't a man with a voice like that. And she said she did not fight her mother and she got up out of there. There was the man that we were sitting there talking to. Now, I am not sure because him telling the story, you talk back and forth to God in your mind. As he was telling this story, I don't know if he was just going in his mind or the voice, because I'm not going to lie to you people. I don't know. However, this is what he said. He said he had been engaged to this woman they had bought this house and they had been fixing up on this house, and it was a fixer-upper house and it had needed a lot of work. Well, he bought the house for $45,000 and then they were selling the house for $150,000, but for some reason, which I don't know, he was not going to be getting any of this money. She was going to be getting it all, and they were supposed to be getting married, so maybe he put everything in her name because you know how we do sometimes. And so he said he was so upset that he had a sludge hammer and he was about to tear up all this stuff, and he said that it came to him. However, whether it was the voice or however, it said, don't you do that. He said, but, oh no, God, she about to get all this stuff and we did this together and I'm leaving with nothing. He said, I don't care. He said, if you tear up one thing, you are not a part of me. He said, but I am a part of you. God, not if you gonna get ready to tear up some stuff. You are not a part of me. And I'm like, he said, okay. So he didn't tear it up. So then he was telling us about the story of Sarah in the Bible. And he gave scriptures and everything. And I wasn't writing them down, people. And I know that there is a story of Sarah in the Bible. And Abraham, I think it's Abraham. So the guy's telling the story, he giving scriptures, and he said, Abraham's family was messing up or whatever, and he said, you got to go. Abraham, go. I want you to take Sarah with you. So, and the guy is telling this story like this, and if you want to look him up, I think he is on Instagram. He told me his name is Todd Watts 1375. But yeah, he was talking and he was saying that, okay, so Abraham and Sarah, they left, and then Abraham was like, shoot, I guess we just gonna tell people you my sister. And she was like, okay. Like, okay, so we sister and brother. So then this Pharaoh came and he was like, oh my God, Sarah's so beautiful. Can I have her? And he was like, well, yeah, she's my sister. Go ahead and go. And so then he took her to his house and he had a harem. And this guy is so funny, this Todd Watts 1375 on Instagram. Like, I don't even have an Instagram account. I'm thinking about getting one, but anyway. When the Pharaoh went to sleep, God came to the Pharaoh and said, hey, you got somebody else's wife up in here, and I'm going to need you to take her back. And she's like, God, I didn't know. They told me they was brother and sister. Say, well, they're not. And I need you to take her back because I wanted Sarah to have and Abraham to be together. It's like, okay, God, but she's so pretty. Well, if you don't take her back, then I will take all the stuff from you and you will be desolate and you won't have nothing. So he get up in the morning, the Pharaoh gets up in the morning, and all the other people around him was like, oh my goodness, you brought home this Sarah. She's beautiful. You got a good deal. He's like, she got to go back. She got to go back. She got to go back because it ain't worth me losing all my stuff for that. God said that's Abraham's wife and she got to go back. So he sent her back. And so we sitting at the park laughing. And I've never met this man before, me and my husband. And it's like these things happen to me all the time because I have the spirit of everybody is my friend, everybody's my family, everybody is a human being. Deep inside, you are a real person, you think real thoughts. So I want to appeal to that person. I don't want to be like fake. I don't want to act like, we have nothing in common because we are all human beings on this road together, trying to just get through and be happy and achieve as much as we can. You need to understand the assignment, as Pastor Mike says, and just get on through to the next level. I love you all, of course, so much. And I'm sorry that I have really been enjoying my summer and I haven't sat down to make a podcast except for one. I probably got one for my producer to edit, but he's been enjoying his summer too. We've been living life. I am here now and I'll be back again soon. And I love you. So take care, everyone. Listen, subscribe, follow. Love you all. Bye. Spotify, Pandora, Prime Music, YouTube, anywhere, iHeartRadio, anywhere you listen to your podcast, I'm there. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.